All right, hello everybody, and welcome back to some more Osu Mania 7 Key World Cup 2025 action. We've got some more quarterfinals matches to get through here, or at least just one for now, and that's going to be our number 10 seed Chile versus our number 20 seed Estonia. This is, I believe, going to be a losers bracket match. So these two teams fighting for everything here for their tournament lives. I am one of your commentators, Toph Daddy, joined here by Sparky. How's it going?
It is going absolutely fantastic. You are absolutely correct. This is indeed a losers bracket match. So starting off with those conditionals, starting off with that first leg of them, if they want to make it to that semifinals round, it is going to be a bit of an uphill climb. They need to best this team and then win again later on this weekend, as we'll be seeing one of these two teams later on this weekend. It'll be very exciting to see which of these two decide to make it through. The pool's a little bit harder. The seeds not too far apart in terms of overall discrepancy, but I imagine Chile might be feeling a little bit better having a full complement of players, whereas Estonia only having the two players to go into this full match, not gonna have the luxury of being able to swap out on things that they might not feel the most comfortable on. And oh boy, with the pool expanding like it is, there's probably some pretty uncomfortable picks here.
Oh yeah, for sure. And we see the rolls come out. Setbacks rolling a 99, getting the win on the roll for Chile there. So they will protect first. Estonia getting second protect first ban, and then Chile will get their ban and first pick for the match. I'm not really sure what to expect out of these two teams. I don't think they have any particular weaknesses on either side. Maybe feeling a little uncomfortable on long notes, but either way, I don't know if they are going to be really attacking their opponent's strengths or trying to stick with their own strengths at this point. It's a little bit of a tough call to make.
Yeah, for sure, especially when the overlap between these two teams in terms of what they'd want to go for is probably a little bit higher than some other teams, but we're starting to glean some information into where the headspaces are for these countries. Estonia protecting LN1, banning Rice 4, so we might begin to see a little bit of that LN versus Rice dichotomy we love to talk about whenever we get into matches like this, when the waters are a little muddy in terms of what we're thinking the teams might want to go for. This is definitely offering some clarification as to where these two teams might want to attack this map pool.
Yeah, and if we're seeing this kind of LN Rice dichotomy between the two teams, Chile's ban would probably have to be LN4 in this case. I don't see anything else really coming out as a ban. Or
Yeah.
rather, I would be surprised to see any of the other long note picks getting banned, especially with that long note one protect from Estonia.
Yeah, I imagine the LN1 protect kind of throws a bit of a wrench in the works, considering the fact that Chile's taking a bit of a second to think about this now. It's usually a reflexive, like, if it's open, get rid of it type of ban in rounds like this. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw LN4 get removed, and sure enough, there it is, removed from the map pool. Next closest in terms of discomfort stylistically, because you have L intensity, you have, we're adding that LN3, kind of occupies that same space as LN2 somewhat, and then LN4 being like more wildcardy. You want to
Well,
usually a toss up there.
not quite. LN3 is the wild card. LN3 is a wild card. LN4 is the new category.
Thank you.
LN4 is the one that's similar to LN1, where it's more coordination oriented.
Okay,
but LN1 focusing more on the inverse side of things now, instead of being like a combination inverse coordination pick.
Good to know. Either way, not going to have to worry about it, as the first pick is going to be Rice 6 to start this match off.
Yeah, not too surprising to see Chile, protecting that Rice 3, going for accuracy-based maps. This one, the faster chord stream pick in the scenario, so going to be, I think, a little bit on the easier side for a lot of players to read through and get good accuracy on. In Chile, a very, very strong accuracy team, so makes sense to see them wanting to go right for this out the gate, something that they feel like they can be really consistent on.
Yeah, very quick in, quick out type of a map, just shy of 2 minutes, so not going to be the biggest test of stamina, but for the time that they are locked in, I can imagine the exertion is going to be pretty high. We're starting to reach that like middle point of the tournament where we start to maybe start hitting the ceiling on certain players here and there, where either the BPM might be too high or just the pattern structures of some of these charts get a little too complicated to read through, and we'll start seeing a couple more drops than usual, at least in comparison to the earlier rounds, as we wait for Chile to lock in their roster. As I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, Isaiah and Arcaxio going to be locked in for Estonia, whether they want to be here or not.
Yeah, just a little bit of a weakness of that two-person squad for Estonia here. But Chile swapping their players. Dark Dave and Bambi FNF currently in on the squad. And we see the empty settings, so that is going to be the team from Chile here for map number 1 out of a possible 11. First to 6 starts now.
As we wait for Bancho to get everything settled in here, make sure everything's synced up. The anticipation is killing me right now, because we want to see how these players do to start this first map off. You want to start off on the right foot, and as we get things underway, it's going to be a bit of a slog to get to that 400 combo cap, but right now, Isaiah actually picking up a bit of an accuracy drop, a couple of extra 200s, and a couple of misses traded out by Bambi FNF as well on the top side of the lobby. Going to equal it out, but Chile riding high on this strong start to the tune of about 13,000 points just right out of the intro here.
Yeah, that's all off the back of the accuracy drops we're seeing. Bambi FNF, Chile, both players dropping to like low 99s in that intro, but holding on to the combo and holding on to that accuracy for the most part. Hisaya continuing to have some issues here, holding on to the consistency. Arcaxio doing what they can. Still the highest accuracy in the lobby, though, but Hisaya not finding any ground to stand on, and a 60,000 point lead continues to grow as Hisaya isn't able to really find the combo. A miss traded back by Dark Dave, but that's going to need to be matched with a lot more if Hisaya is not able to hold on to some consistent combo here going into the second half.
Yeah, just through the first half of the chart, it's kind of a clear delineation in terms of overall comfort. Chile really showing off what they are made of on this first pick. Sure, the accuracies were a little bit lower than we're expecting, the low 99%, but Bambi really stepping it up despite both players dropping their full combos on the side of Chile. But as it stands, doing more than enough to see off Estonia at the moment, despite Arcaxio's best efforts, just kind of chilling in the corner right now. I think the only FC left in the lobby, highest accuracy as well. Hisaya, unfortunate not to be able to land the supporting score, but as it stands, I mean, really good individual performances going on here in this lobby.
Yeah, absolutely. This ending actually catching multiple players off guard as well. Dark Dave, Bambi, and Hisaya all struggling a little bit to hold on to the combo there, but Arcaxio does get the full combo, but Chile is going to get their first point on the board from Rice 6.
Yeah, very, very good overall first pick for the Chileans here to start this match off, and Estonia not wasting any time, knowing what they want to get into here. LN2 going to be their first pick in this match, so stylistically different. Gotta do a complete 180 from what we just witnessed, and we'll see what they are made of, see if they can equalize here, or if Chile can pull a fast one. They are relatively strong on LNs, but maybe not as comfortable as the Estonians are feeling in the context of this match.
Absolutely, but kind of already seeing this match turn into the LN-Rice dichotomy that we were expecting from the picks and bans. Estonia trying to put their fight forward, need to find something here, or they might risk, seeing Chile run away. If Hisaya's showing a little bit of discomfort like that on Rice 6, and we can see something like that from the rest of the Rice pool, Chile might be feeling really good about their chances on that Rice side, and if that does end up being the case, Estonia is going to need to do everything they can to win the points outside of that Rice pool.
Yeah, for sure. It's not going to be a matter of if, but when they need to dip down into those hybrids at the end of the day, because they are going to need to. The LN pool isn't as big as the Rice pool in just yet. So we'll see how they do on this LN pick. That's the most important thing. They need to win this pick to make sure that, like you mentioned, Chile doesn't start running away with this a little bit, because I think Chile has a very clear plan of attack. But this introduction starting to catch out. It's a complete 180 from what we saw. Hisaya striking on the Rice 1. Dark Dave actually picking up a couple of slider breaks through this introduction. Hisaya finally trades one of them back, but Estonia riding away with about a 6,000 point lead through the introduction alone.
And Bambi actually finding a break as well. Everyone now dropping except Hisaya. No full combos on the board, but a 7,000 point lead for Estonia. Accuracy between Dark Dave and Hisaya quite comparable. Hisaya just with better combo coverage. Bambi actually with the highest accuracy in the lobby. Did find that break to trade with Arcexio, but is still able to keep this within striking distance. But a three-way miss there, double from Chile, and Hisaya finding the drop. Now Arcexio the one holding on to the consistency, but finds a miss, and that lead is shrinking down to about 3,000 points now as the combo is on Bambi's side, and it starts swapping over, but Dark Dave finds a miss, and it might just go right back to Estonia going into the second half here.
It is a war of attrition through this pick as the density begins to increase in this chart. We start to see the misses traded back and forth. Bambi falls once again, but still so clean in their drops, able to mitigate any extra score losses. Hisaya trades one of them back going into the last third here. And Arcexio falls as well. This is going to be Chile's best opportunity to start building up a tiny bit of an advantage. But as we have seen, 8,000 points is nothing to write on as we start seeing drops from Dark Dave and Arcexio on the bottom half of the lobby. But Chile still managing to hold on. A full combo reset on the side of Estonia increases the lead to 15,000 points with a quarter of the map left to go here.
Yeah, just like you said, a quarter of the map left. Everyone now above 400 combo. So now it's going to be an accuracy game until we start seeing misses. Arcexio falling apart a little bit, finding a couple of misses. Everyone else in the lobby holding on through this chorus at the moment. And now it's a 30,000 point lead for Chile. But that's a double miss from Chile. Traded once by Hisaya there, but continuing to find misses. Everyone in the lobby now, and Chile holding on to the lead because of the traded misses. Just one section left, and 30,000 points is going to be a very difficult wall to climb. Dark Dave and Arcexio continuing to trade misses in this ending. It looks like Chile going to get a very early break point in this match.
Definitely looked a little rocky there at the start for the Chileans, but able to pull it together. A MVP performance from Bambi, able to wrench the lead back in their favor and able to mitigate any potential damage overall for their team score to get that first break point and really start to apply the pressure early in this match. Going back to their pick, I imagine we're going to go right back up into that Rice Bowl. It's just a matter of what style they want to go into. I mean, at this point, it's basically pick of the litter with how Rice 6 went. Very, very little Estonia could do to oppose that Chilean performance on that pick. Kind of opens up some comfort, some confidence as well, to kind of just go into whatever they want. If they have another comfort pick, Rice 2 is going to be the option here for them to dive on into, a chance to capitalize on that early breakpoint to make it 3 to the good to start this match off.
Yeah, sticking with the chord stream picks here. I mean, it went well for them on Rice 6. That was a little less dense, a little faster, but this was, I mean, it's the same idea. I think they're just banking on a similar result from the Rice 6 selection, where Hisaya was having a little bit of trouble holding onto the combo through that.
Yeah, for sure. And similar runtime, just tack on an extra 30 seconds. X going to be coming in replacement of Dark Dave to back up Bambi, who I imagine is going to be their anchor for a majority of these charts, as Estonia trying to notch their first point on the board. Going to need to get one of these breakpoints back, but hopefully for them, they can find some leverage on one of these Rice picks. But with the way Chile's been playing, it might be a bit of tough sledding. Not impossible, but definitely going to need to overperform in comparison.
Certainly not impossible. Coming out of this intro, we'll get to the really dense part of this pretty early here. 178 BPM, dense chord stream. Looks like his side is having some accuracy troubles, but is holding on to the combos through this. so is still holding on to it better than we were seeing from Rise 6, but that is still going to be a small lead for Chile, just about 13,000 points coming out of the first quarter here.
Yeah, I imagine as Sisaya starts to find some footing here, starts to build up their accuracy, we'll start to see that lead get chipped away at ever so slightly. Arcaxio canceling out Bambi FNF in terms of accuracy overall, so it's really just a cross-map battle between Hisaya and Sibayex, but Hisaya going to be finding the first drop for the Estonians going into the second third of the chart, and this is Chile's chance to really start to solidify this advantage that they have built up through the first half of the chart. 27,000 points and climbing as Hisaya tries to get back up with that 400 combo cap here.
They will just about get to 400 combo there. We go into that. That misses trade back by Sebayex, so the lead's going to shrink a little bit. It is still about 25,000, but Hisaya not able to hold the consistency through for that miss there. Sebayex continuing to find some issues, though. Lead shrinking a little bit, but Hisaya matching those struggles as well. Arcaxio and Bambi holding on very strong. 2 full combos on the board right now in the lobby as Sebayex finds some footing there. Gets to 400 combo as Hisaya continues to struggle and expands that lead to just about 50,000 points. And that's a full lobby reset there. No full combos left on the board. And that should favor Chile there, given they had a quite hefty lead there going into that big break. But we continue to see combo drops here from Hisaya and Sebayex.
Yeah, it just seems that when the chords get denser on the downbeats, it's just catching out both Hisaya and Sebayex. And in those exchanges, I mean, Chile has been the beneficiary of pretty much every single one as 3 players go down through this outro. Chile going to be able to successfully capitalize on that early breakpoint, make it 3-0 to start this match off, and leave Estonia looking for an answer here. If Chile can match them on the LNs, there is no comparison on the Rise here as it stands. A very close battle between Bambi and Arcaxio, but Bambi comes out on top and Chile secures the point.
And an immediate pick of long note 1 coming out from Estonia, going for their protect, trying to stick with a heavier coordination pick. The density didn't work out too well for them, but it was much closer than what we saw on the Rice side of things so far in this match. And trying to take away as much of the Rice aspect of this as possible is probably what's going to be needed. So sticking with the coordination is going to be very important here from here on out. But there's only so many picks that are super tough on the coordination side, especially once you run out of those long note picks.
For sure, you kind of bring Chile back into the fold a little bit if the composition of the chart has just a little bit more in terms of like density aspects, then you can kind of get away with the Rice players that might not be the most comfortable with them in comparison to these pure coordination LNs. Then you're right, it starts that road seems to have a dead end at the end if you're not too careful. But I mean, the important thing for Estonia right now is just notching a point on the board to ensure that they have something to show for their efforts on these LN picks, because they've been pretty good so far. It's just not being able to deliver a clean team performance so far. If they can keep this one relatively clean, I imagine misses or slider breaks kind of come with the territory on a pick like this, but just being able to keep the damage to a minimum, keep the accuracy somewhere in touching distance of what Bambi and Dark Dave can do on the other side, and it's all smooth sailing from there.
Yeah, step 1, if Estonia wants to come back, they've got to win this. Losing 2 breakpoints in a row will put them in a very bad position, especially losing both if they come out of it having lost both the coordination and density long note picks. So gotta get it right here. Gotta stop the momentum of Chile so far. We've already gotten a breakpoint and brought it to 3-0, but an early break from Dark Dave is going to give a small lead to Estonia out the gate.
Yeah, split column coordination, it's basically just all 7 columns being busy at the exact same time. As we get into the first major section of this chart, Dark Dave finding a couple of slider breaks, answered back by Arcaxio and Hisaya before too long, and the discrepancy in terms of accuracy begins to come to a head once again as Bambi's towering above everybody else in this lobby, nearly 0.5% ahead of their next closest competitor. 99.6% accuracy for them. Arcaxio, the next one behind, trying to catch up here, trying to mitigate the score loss on their side, trying to keep it close, but it's still 20,000 points. But Bambi actually finding a slider break, going to give Estonia a bit of an opening to try and claw back some of this deficit.
Yeah, still about 19,000 points off of the accuracy difference. Asai a little bit behind right now. Is able to build up the combo in Bambi now above 400 again, so that leads him to continue to grow. But another miss from Bambi there is traded right back by Asai and Arcaxio and Darkday, the only two with the combo alive going into the second half. But Chile with a pretty strong lead at the moment and only growing because of the accuracy differences here between Chile and Estonia.
Yeah, these slider breaks are going to be so important at the end. If Estonia can just establish a bit of a foothold, hold on to some semblance of combo. There's trades going on once again as we make our way into the last quarter of the chart. Bambi, the next one to fall, not traded back by either of the Estonians. These staircase rolls are catching out of Chile. 20,000 points gone in an instant, but Arcaxio finds the trade once again. Still 8,000 points. There's enough time for Estonia to claw something back. Hisaya doing everything in their power. The only one above that 400 combo cap for the Estonians, trying to get something here. 7,000 points. Can they do it?
That lead's still shrinking. It's down to 7, down to 6,000 points. Accuracy having problem. Dark Day finding a miss right at the end. We only have a few bits. But Arcaxio finds a break as well. And the last note, only 5,000 points, but Chile is going to hold on at the very end and take another break point in dramatic fashion.
Oh, hanging on by the skin of their teeth, doing the work in the first half. They needed all 30,000 points of that lead going into that ending because it was teetering at the end. The slider breaks were coming through. If they were just 10, 15 more seconds in that chart, maybe Estonia could have clawed it back at the end, but it is not to be. Chile run away with another breakpoint, make it 4-0, and I imagine they're going to get the hell away from these LN picks. Something in the rice pool, 1, 3, or 5 coming up next.
Their protect is still open. They did protect rice 5, so they have to feel pretty comfortable about that one. Though these pure core string picks have been going really well for them. I could see them pretty much choosing anything available. They're all more on the straightforward side. Rice 5 obviously still has some technical elements, but it's more of a mixed pick, so you can see them going with that. But if I had to put money, it'd be Rice 3. Yeah, and there it is, immediately going for their protect, trying to establish match point here, get themselves up to that 5 points, and force Estonia into a corner.
Yeah, as it stands, it already feels like Estonia's kind of been in a corner, trying to get out of it with these LN picks and just not being able to come up with anything at the end of the day. LN won their best opportunity, their protect, coming down to 4,000 points. But they're going to need to weather the storm here. Chile looking to try and capitalize once again on that break point, try to make it a match point situation as well. Secure themselves tiebreaker at worst. If everything were to just fly off the rails at this point, they could at least fall back to that. But they're going to try and close this out, or get as close as possible to closing it out with as little resistance as possible as we wait to load into our 5th map of this best of 11. Chile on the cusp of that match point.
And here we go. Cord Jacks on the menu here. Starts off pretty light, gives an opportunity to just get comfortable with the map. But an early accuracy drop from Hisaya has been the kind of theme so far, and a miss there early on as well is going to give Chile a very early lead in Arcaxio. Following that up with a miss of their own, now 2 full combos, 2-0, but Bambi does trade one of those back, so just Sebayax left on the board with the full combo here, but the accuracy is the real story here, with Bambi and Sebayax beating out both of the Estonian players.
Yeah, just rough sledding early on for both Hisaya and Arcaxio as we make our way into the second quarter of this chart. Just these little breaks here and there. They're not the sloppiest of misses, but it is just bleeding points over to the Chileans as it stands. 73,000 points going into this first row break section. And with 2/3 of the map still left to go, it's going to be tough sledding if they don't find any trades back from the Chileans. Sebaix looking extremely comfortable as it stands, just standing on that perch. Even though Bambi has higher accuracy than them, they have the miss. They don't have a full combo, yet they have highest accuracy in this lobby.
Yeah, and those accuracies from Chile you mentioned have been sticking around the 99.7, 99.8 range. Arcaxio was keeping up with them for a while there, but does drop to the low 99s. And this, I mean, seeing these scores from Chile, it makes sense why they protected it now.
For sure, just incredibly comfortable. And I mean, we've always said with core jack picks, it very much becomes a very black and white skill set. Either you can handle the BPM or you can't. And if you can handle the BPM, can you handle the chord structures? And as it stands, it looks like Chile very much up to the task of what's being asked of them on this pick. Bambi climbing in terms of accuracy, Seb blending the supporting score, the only full combo left in this lobby, an 1/8 of the chart left to go, already stretching close to 200,000 points in terms of overall advantage. There is, I think we can kind of stick a fork in this pick. Chile is going to be able to secure that match point situation, forcing Estonia to try and reverse sweep them when all is said and done here. As this map comes to an end, a dominating performance, the Protect very well warranted. And that will do it. 5-0 match point situation. One miss, 71 300s. That is the epitome of a chord jack pick. Sebix finding 550s. I think that's just one chord.
Yeah, probably. I mean, those are some true chord jack scores. 0001, 0050, and then 3168. More misses than bad judgments. Always is just how chord jack maps go.
Yeah. Alright, that being said, I mean, the Estonians paying their kudos. That's one of those picks where it's kind of like you see the scores in there saying, you're just like, okay, tip the cap. Fine, you can have that one. As Estonia looking to change things up here, not going for LN3, they're going to go for Hybrid 1 to try and notch a point on the board here.
It's certainly an interesting choice from my own viewpoint. I would have expected maybe Hybrid 2 before Hybrid 1 there, because this one is very straightforward as far as like patterning goes. There's nothing too complex about it, and I think that's going to be something that Chile is going to, feel more comfortable going into, as opposed to something like Hybrid 2, which gets it has those shields with the complicated releases and kind of makes it a little bit more difficult to read through, which Estonia, despite not winning that LN1 pick, was extremely close to taking it at the end. But we'll have to see. If they pick this, I imagine that means they have to feel more comfortable with this hybrid pick.
Yeah, and at this point, you really don't have that much room for error. So going with something that might on paper feel more practical, more straightforward, might lend itself to maybe avoiding any pitfalls like those pattern structure that you're referring to in Hybrid 2, maybe. But I mean, gonna need to get this point one way or another and get some of those breakpoints back if they want to stand a chance here. Chile looking very strong, and Sebix actually not having the strongest it starts through this introduction. A boatload of misses down into that low 90% range to start this map off, and this is exactly what Estonia was looking for.
Oh, and these kind of intrusive long notes catching two players off guard, Sebix and Hisaya, and Bambi now actually also finding some issues. This might just have been what the doctor ordered. Arcaxio holding on to the only full combo, up to 800 combo and a lead, continuing to grow as Sebix just cannot find any footing in these interweave long note and rise patterns.
Arcaxio finally falls. Hisaya falls as well. A full combo reset on the side of Estonia. Bambi left alone on the purge, but everybody struggling through the early goings of this pick, and Estonia actually taking these trades in stride. Do bleed over about 6,000 points, but still building up enough of a cushion to withstand some of those harder sections as they kind of solidify a little bit. 19,000 points as Hisaya and Sebix starting to trade once again, going in the second third of the chart here.
Yeah, it's just Bambi and Arcaxio holding onto the combo. Sebix and Hisaya continuing to trade combos. Both players struggling to stay above the S rank, while Arcaxio and Bambi holding on the fort with double 99%. But Bambi, the only combo to survive that section, but still, the accuracy lead that Hisaya has over Sebayax right now is holding on to the lead for Chile as we continue to find drops, but combos building up. And we see Arcaxio drop right before 400, but Hisaya now matching the maximum combo advantage from Bambi there. And a 28,000 point lead as we get into the second half of this map.
We're going to see shades of LN1. Hisaya drops on the beginning of this LN anchor section. These staggered releases, these staggered starts can make you want to release a little bit earlier than intended, and it's starting to come through here. The lead shrinking ever so slightly, but a full combo reset in the transition going into the last quarter of the chart here. Going to regrow this advantage. Hisaya trades one of them back, but answered back in spades by Sebayax right now. Lead reestablished, 40,000 points for Estonia going into this last quarter.
Yeah, massive combo from Arcaxio going through this transition as we get to the ending section. Last quarter coming up, and Hisaya building up the combo as well, but trading that miss with Sebayax, continuing to find matching misses, but that lead is not staying stable. But Bambi finding a miss as Arcaxio holds consistency through this ending with the 99% accuracy and builds that lead up to 60,000 points. And this hybrid was exactly what Estonia needed here. We get this last section, but it's going to take a lot to transition this score back to Chile, and we can put away the brooms as Estonia gets their first point in what they're hoping is going to be a reverse sweep here.
Very well done. As you mentioned, this is exactly what the doctor ordered for Estonia, finding the pick to get themselves on the board. A very convincing score from their side. Arcaxio MVPing the lobby, able to hold off Bambi FNF, and having the supporting score from Hisaya, able to keep themselves above that S rank range in comparison to Sebayax. And I mean, signs of life here. It takes one. But now with Chile up to pick here, I can imagine. Okay, hold on here. Hybrid 3.
Whoa, wait. Whoa, what are we doing here? There's still 2 rice picks open. What's happening?
Getting silly with it here. All right. Maybe they want to prove something to themselves here with this hybrid 3 pick. Maybe they know something we don't.
Maybe. Dark Dave does come back in for Sebayax, so potentially a little more comfortable on the heavier long note patterns, especially that we're going to see in this map, hybrid 3. I expect Bambi to stay in. They've been doing extremely well for Chile so far this match. Hisaya and Arcaxio, obviously the only 2 players on Estonia, so no swap outs. I can imagine that they're starting to get a little tired after 6 maps.
Yeah, I can imagine. It starts to wear away at you, so the fact that they're able to keep up this level of performance is in and of itself incredible. I don't know how these 2-player compositions do it sometimes, having to play some of the absurdity on screen here, but nevertheless, gonna need to go into hybrid 3, an opportunity to get back one of those breakpoints from earlier in this match, and if they can pick this one up over Chile, then maybe some conversations to be had, but a synchronized miss from Hisaya and Arcaxio going to give Chile a bit of a cushion to work with, not the biggest one that we have seen. It was a relatively clean drop on one of those mini jack patterns. Bambi ended up trading one of them back. And overall, this is one of the stronger starts we've seen to a chart from all 4 players in this lobby.
Indeed, just about 3,000 points, keeping it close, but with how long this map is and how high the combo maximum is for a map like this, small leads are going to be a lot bigger than they look. So 6,000, a little bit harder to overcome than it would be in one of the other maps in the pool. Now that lead going up to about 9,000 as we see a double miss from Estonia as well. Hisaya and Arcaxio finding some issues. Both Chilean players holding consistency through these early long notes. We are about a quarter of the way through, and a 16,000 point lead for Chile looks much stronger than what they looked on Hybrid 1. So potentially good player swap so far, but we still have a lot of map to get through.
For sure, a quarter of the map already done and dusted. Chile holding on to this 27,000 point lead as things begin to approach a more rice density section with these interspersed LN bursts here, and they're going to catch out Hisaya. No trades back, but as I say that, a double miss from Chile going to help extend this lead. A full combo wipe for the entire lobby as we continue on here. Second third of the chart still coming through, but Chile going to take these exchanges any day of the week, still managing to hold on to this cushion that they have built up, 40,000 points and climbing as we continue through this section. Multitudes of issues for both sides, but Chile able to weather the storm just a little bit better to help increase this lead going into the back half now.
Indeed, 50,000 points, a huge lead for especially how long this map is. About halfway through the map, and we get a little bit of a slowdown section, but Hisaya continuing to find a few breaks. The rest of the combos in the lobby holding strong, but Bambi trades that miss back, so two combos on, or one combo on each side, I should say. Dark Dave and Arcaxio holding down the fort for the respective teams. Hisaya and Bambi continuing to find struggles in this section, but the accuracy difference right now is the big story. Players on Chile holding a little bit stronger than Estonia, but that's a double miss from Chile. Hisaya trades one of them back, but Arcaxio holding on to the combo for Estonia at the moment and trying to do whatever they can to dig into that lead, and it is shrinking just a little bit.
Yeah, ever so slightly, but Arcaxio finally falls from their perch. No semblance of combo to work with for either team, so right now, Chile couldn't be able to sit pretty, trying to rebuild to that 400 combo cap, and it was shrinking a little bit, but it grew back about 10,000 points, 70,000 points is between the two teams as we make our way into the last quarter of the chart. We are still seeing misses left and right from players as they start to trip up on some of these harder structures. It is so hard to read through after playing for well over 3.5 minutes at this point. The concentration starts to lap. The stamina starts to go a little bit. A full combo reset on the side of Estonia, not traded back this time around by the Chileans as we make our way into the last 8. There we go, a full lobby wipe once again. And once again, Chile just beneficiaries of each and every single one of these exchanges, it feels like, growing the advantage to 90,000 points as we approach this outro.
Yeah, and as things start to slow down, it's going to be harder and harder for any kind of comeback to happen. Estonia did a great job, put the brooms away, and was able to get that point on Hybrid 1, but is unable to continue coming back in this match as Chile finishes off the job. 100,000 point lead for Chile on Hybrid 3 is going to bring them to their 6th and final point and send them to the second match in the losers bracket quarterfinals. And unfortunately, that does mean Estonia will be eliminated from the Oceania 7 Key World Cup 2025. They put up a fight, but unfortunately just wasn't enough to take down Chile on this day.
Yeah, commiserations to them. Very well fought. Some really close points there. Could have been a little bit closer. I feel like that scoreline might be a little bit deceptive to those looking, but at the end of the day, Chile just that one step ahead, able to overcome Estonia on their preferred picks and just secure it at the end of the day. So congratulations to them. As you mentioned, moving on to the second half of the quarterfinals weekend, Chile is not done just yet if they want to make it to that semifinals round. But it will be the end of the line for us, at least for right now. We'll be back tomorrow at 4 UTC for the next match. It is going to be Venezuela taking on Macau, another, I believe, losers bracket match here to start the Sunday block of matches.
Yeah, but that'll be a slightly longer block as well. So we actually have 2 matches to happen right after the other, and the second one actually a winners bracket match. So you're going to get some fun times happening on the start of our Sunday block. But I feel like I'm forgetting something. I have been thinking about this a lot. I really want to support the tournament, but I don't know how. Do you have a way I can do that?
Oh, you bet I do, Toph. Did you know that if you wanted to support any of the teams that made it to the Oceania 7 Key World Cup for this edition, even the ones that have already been eliminated, if you wanted to show some late support, or if you're a little late to the party, you can head on over to the OS store and buy yourself a banner for the low price of $2.50 USD to 1, decorate your profile, and 2, show your support to your favorite team that made it to this year's edition. We expanded to 32 teams from the 24, 8 new teams to throw your support behind. How does that sound?
I think that is perfect And if you manage to guess, I think this is right, but if you guess the team who ends up going all the way and winning the tournament, you get to keep that banner for a little bit longer, right?
Absolutely, you can keep it through all of the World Cups that are coming up this year. We're only just getting started this year. 7 Key kicks off a wonderful block of World Cups. And as you mentioned, if you pick the winner, it stays around that little bit longer. But if you don't have the prediction ability to find who's going to win, why not hedge your bets? You can buy all 32 banners to decorate your profile. 31 of them will go away, but at least one will stay. How does that sound?
That sounds like a wonderful way to support this tournament and these wonderful players who you get to watch duke it out in the 7 Key World Cup every single weekend. But with that out of the way, I think we are going to close out our Saturday set of matches for the World Cup here, and we will see you in 9 hours at 4 UTC to start our Sunday of amazing matches. You will not want to miss them. We'll see you guys then.